Google says it plans to offer a wireless service, so what's behind the plan, and will it really compete with the major carriers? Joining us now to talk about that is Gene Munster, Senior Research Analyst at Piper Jaffray. Gene, thanks so much for joining us. I've got a two-part question. First, what's Google's motivation here? And then what does a venture into wireless service say about Google's plans?
Well, their stated motivation, the real motivation are probably two separate things. Their stated motivation is to create a small network that will allow them to test innovation around mobile and Android, and not to compete with Verizon and AT&T. But probably the real motive here is to be a stalking horse, to basically encourage or twist the arm of the existing carriers to offer cheaper data. Because when you use more data, like YouTube on your mobile phone or any sort of internet, Google benefits. And so I think that there's a stated goal and then the real goal.
And so you think that consumers could possibly benefit from this plan if we get lower prices for our data plans, is that right?
Exactly. I think that this is the big angle for consumers, is that if Google can just entice some of these carriers, that if they don't start to offer better plans, Google's going to be more competitive and willing to do it for free, well, then I think ultimately these carriers are going to follow suit, give better pricing for data plans that's good for consumers.
How quickly do you think we would actually see this come into fruition? We would actually be able to buy a Google service plan or a Google phone?
It's probably going to be in the next 6 months. And it's, again, in small markets. There's not a lot of details that they've given out. It's probably going to be a couple markets. But you could see the impact on your existing plan in the next year as, again, these carriers start to position themselves.
So it sounds like it could be a good move, at least from the consumer perspective. We might want Google to enter this space. Do you think it's a smart move? If I'm a Google shareholder, do I want this to happen?
From a shareholder perspective, this makes a ton of sense. And the reason is that more data usage is good for Google. About half of the spending online, advertising spending online, is done through Google. And so they capture a broad width of when people spend time online, Google tends to benefit. And so as an investor in Google, as they encourage more internet usage, that clearly benefits their business. There is the one small negative wild card that if they do want to promote the service, there's going to be some expenses associated with it. Actually, building the service doesn't really cost them much money. They license spectrum from existing carriers. But the marketing of it may cost a little bit of money, which may weigh on margins slightly in the near term. But longer term, this is a much bigger positive.
Wow, they just do it all, right? Search, space, and now phones. Thanks so much for joining us, Gene, and thanks everyone for watching. I'm Courtney Reagan. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. You can subscribe by clicking right here to check out the latest Mad Money CEO interviews, market news, financial advice, and product unboxing. Enjoy!